In a fourth-grade classroom, a teacher named Raghavan Nair posed a question about history. He asked his students to identify a man who had successfully mirrored the nonviolence and compassion of Mahatma Gandhi in his own life. The response was immediate. Without hesitation, the class's least studious boy stood up and gave an answer that the other 31 students then repeated in unison: Papachi. The teacher was furious. He had expected them to name the nation's first prime minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and ordered the entire class to write Nehru's name 100 times as punishment. This creates a strange paradox. It raises the question of how a local man, someone who spent his days sitting on the edge of a bridge, could occupy a larger place in their minds than the famous architects of their nation. To understand the student's answer, you have to look at the river that splits this village into two halves. For years, Papachi was the government boatman, the physical link that moved people across this divide. His role ended the day a concrete bridge was built across the water. The new structure provided a faster crossing, but it also made the traditional ferry system obsolete. This change forced everyone in the village to adapt. One boatman opened a bicycle shop to survive. A carpenter, unable to handle the shift, lost his grip on reality. Papachi took a different path. On the evening the bridge opened, he walked to the southern end of the handrail and sat down in silence. While his neighbors rushed to find new trades and new ways to be productive, Papachi stayed at the edge of the bridge. He became a fixed point in a landscape moving too fast for everyone else. His presence on the bridge lasted through the seasons. He sat under a fig tree that shielded him from the sun, remaining at his post even after his wife and daughter, frustrated by his refusal to work, eventually left him. The first break in this stillness happened when a temple priest's child fell into the river. Papachi dove into the current, rescued the boy, and brought him back to land. The village immediately tried to turn this act into a traditional success story. They held a public meeting, gave him a reward of 51 rupees, and advised him to use the money to open a shop and end his long vigil on the bridge. Papachi rejected the role of the reformed hero. He gave half the money back to the family, noting that if the boy hadn't fallen, there would be no reward to keep, and then he returned to his seat on the handrail. Later, a wealthy local landowner named Gangadharan attacked him. The man felt insulted by Papachi's quiet observation of his daughter at the river, and, alongside his associates, beat the old man for simply being there. Once again, the community tried to use Papachi for their own ends. They organized a massive protest against the landowner's arrogance, placing the injured Papachi on a stage to serve as a martyr for their political cause. Papachi refused this role as well. He declined to take any money from his attacker, showed no interest in the political movement, and walked straight back to his spot on the southern end of the bridge as soon as he was physically able. By refusing to become either a grateful businessman or an angry victim, Papachi's silence became a shield. He didn't offer the village any of the emotional reactions they needed to fuel their own dramas. Papachi stayed on that handrail until he died of natural causes in old age. He never sought leadership or wealth, yet by the time he passed, he had outlasted the anger and the pity of everyone who had tried to move him. After his death, the village began to rewrite its map in his honor. The crossing became Pappachi Bridge. The nearby intersection was named Pappachi Junction, and the official government mail center was designated as the Pappachi Muku Post Office. His legacy grew as others projected their own meanings onto his life. Local artists and storytellers began touring the state with performances based on his biography, making a living by narrating the story of the man who refused to do anything at all. In a world that demands constant reaction and visible progress, Papachi's life offers a different perspective. He didn't participate in the scramble for status or the noise of local politics. This brings us back to the classroom and the comparison to Gandhi. Papachi earned his place in history not by leading a movement, but by proving that standing still, or sitting still, can be a powerful way to live.